So if you come to lie down on your back, lie flat if you're comfortable to lie flat, but if you're not, you can come into easy resting pose, we call this. So you could come down and lie with your knees bent, take the feet quite wide, and then just allow the knees to rest in against each other. That can feel quite nice. If you have low back issues, that can feel quite nice. So you might want to come into easy resting pose, or you might want to come to lie flat. It's up to you. But just find a position that you're comfortable in. And then start to relax. And then those of us that have just joined, if you could mute yourselves, because I've lost my button and I don't want to mess around with the screen too much. I want to start. So if you could press your mute, and then of course unmute yourselves if you need to stop me for any reason. Okay, so we're lying down on our backs, lying flat or in easy resting pose with the knees bent, and then resting in towards each other. And then just take a moment to settle down and arrive into your practice. Just start to let everything slow down. So let your breath begin to slow down. Begin to let go of your day, of your thought processes. And then start to notice any sensation that you have in your body. So anything at all that you can feel in your body as you lie here. And that might be tiny, subtle sensations. It might be a bit of the feeling of warmth in parts of your body. It might be some feelings of coolness. It could be anything, a little bit of tingling. Just notice any sensation that you have anywhere as you lie here. Just starting to make that transition really from thinking into feeling. So you're feeling whatever's happening in your body tonight, however small that sensation might be. And then see if you can notice where you end and the space around you begins. And I think somebody hasn't quite muted themselves, so I'm just going to remind those of you that just arrived, if you could press mute, that would be really good, because I can't find my button. So yeah, just noticing where you end and the space around you begins. Is it on mute? And then let your awareness settle to your inhales and your exhales. And we'll slowly begin to lengthen and deepen the breath. And I want you to just think for a moment about 3 things that you are grateful for tonight. So not only in our yoga practice are we training our bodies to become stronger and more flexible, we're also training our minds so that when things get challenging, when we're surrounded by all sorts of things going on in the world, we're just able to remind ourselves of the things that we're grateful for. So just think of 3 things that you are grateful for tonight. And then from there, we're just going to start by bringing the knees into the chest. So really, really gently, and especially if you have a sensitive low back, just be really gentle with this. Start to ease the knees in any amount towards you. And then you can just start to maybe take them a little bit from side to side. Just begin to gently warm up into your low back. So that might be small movements, it might be a little bit bigger movements. It doesn't matter. See how your low back feels as you just start to gently warm up here. So sometimes it's nice just to go side to side, or sometimes it's nice to just stick with the back and forward, or other times you might want to draw circles. So just do whatever. Notice how everything feels. So remember, we're trying to really focus on the sensation that we have. Okay, bringing the knees into the chest, we're going to come straight into a happy baby pose. So you could take behind the knees here and draw the knees towards your underarms. If you can, take the arms on the inside and then reach for the outer edges of the feet, or maybe the ankles or the shins, wherever you can. And then we start to draw the knees towards the underarms. Try to keep the low back down. So if you find that when you come into this position, your bum and your low back starts to lift up off the mat, then maybe just come back a level with the hands. Try and keep the low back and the tailbone on the mat. The shoulders are relaxing, and then any amount, you're drawing the knees towards the underarms and just staying here for a couple of breaths. And you might want to move a bit here as well. So it might feel nice just to very, very gently move. And it depends where our tight areas are, doesn't it? So some of us might feel this more in the hamstrings, others of us might feel it more in the hips. So just be a little bit gentle as you move into that pose. Try to keep the low back grounded, and then we'll keep hold of the right foot and we'll stretch the left leg away. Now, if when you stretch the left leg away, that feels really intense, you're just going to rebend the left knee and bring the sole of the foot to the mat. But if you can have the left leg straight and let it relax down towards the mat, then do that. And then draw that right knee any amount closer towards that right underarm. So coming into the half version of Happy Baby, it's a little bit more intense, isn't it? Try to stay as relaxed as you can. Modify it if you need to. Can you bring that right knee any amount closer towards the right underarm? Okay, from here, we're going to rebend the left knee, bring the foot down, flex the right foot, and then place that ankle over above the left knee. And then gently press the right knee away. So you can stay with that version of this, or we bring the hand through the gap, take around the shin, and then come into that sort of thread the needle figure of four position. And then you can start to explore that a little bit as well. You might want to move there. You might want to sway a little bit from side to side. You might draw the legs closer. If none of that's happening for you and it's really intense, you can keep the left foot down on the mat. So remember to modify it in whatever way you need to. Okay, if you want more here, you can cross the right leg all the way over and then reach and take either the shins or the outer edge of the feet, and then you draw the feet towards you. So a little bit like handlebars here, and you get a little bit deeper into that right hip if you do that. So again, your variation, your version. Do what feels nice in your body. Okay, we'll release that. Come back to the full Happy Baby. So taking the outer edges of the feet if you can, or sticking to whatever enables you to keep your low back down, and then a little bit of movement there back in your full Happy Baby. And then we'll release the right leg. So same thing, if you can let the leg come all the way down, then great. If it's too much, then keep the right knee bent, and then that left knee draws towards that left underarm. Again, try and relax as much as you can here. Tailbone is lengthening down towards the bottom of the mat. Any amount, can you get that left knee a little bit closer towards your underarm? And then we'll rebend the right knee, flex the left foot, place the ankle over above the right knee, gently press the left knee away. Stay there if that feels intense, or the hand comes through the gap and we come into thread the needle, where you take the left hand through the gap, right hand behind the thigh, maybe you interlace the fingers behind the thigh or around the shin, and then you can move there in any way that feels nice. And you will feel, undoubtedly, your piriformis muscles, so deep beneath the glutes on the left hand side. We're warming up into our hips quite strongly before we start tonight. Okay, make this more intense if you want to. The left leg can cross over. You might take the outer edges of the feet and then draw the outer edges of the feet towards you. So this is a sort of reclined cow face pose, isn't it? Quite intense, but less intense when we're lying down, I think. So you can move there in any way that feels nice, of course. And then from there, we'll release, just cross the shins and then rock all the way up to seated. And then we'll keep coming and then find our first downward facing dog. So coming over your crossed legs and make your way into your first downward facing dog. And when you get there, moving in any way that feels nice to you. So you might want to bend into the knees. You might want to sway into the hips, pedal out, whatever. Maybe it feels nice to bring some movement up into the shoulders. So just do whatever feels nice as you start to warm up a little bit more into the backs of the legs. Just have a look and make sure that both hands are doing the same thing. So the index fingers point forward and then you spread the other fingers wide. Try to start to think about pressing the mat away. So you begin to lift up out of the wrists, out of the shoulders. Can you find more length with the sit bones up towards the ceilings and then the ceiling, and then the fronts of the thighs start to move to the back of the thighs. Okay, on the next inhale, we'll take the right leg up. And then as we exhale, we'll step it forward. So if you're not used to doing that and you land halfway, don't worry, take the hand behind the calf and then bring the foot forward. And then from there, we're going to drop the left knee and come straight into a half Hanumanasana. So transfer the weight back, straighten that right leg out as much as you can. And then inhale to lengthen the chest forward. Exhale to fold over the leg any amount. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. If this right knee needs to stay bent here, keep it bent, and then inhale to lengthen. Exhaling to fold. Okay, inhale, bring the right foot down. We'll untuck the toes, left foot, and then bring the arms all the way up for a low lunge. And then as we exhale, let the hips sink forward and down. Try to draw the outer right hip back and begin to press the left hip forward. Shoulder blades down the back, lower ribs soften in. And then maybe you turn your gaze up there. So if you're not feeling too wobbly, you can turn the gaze up. If you find these really wobbly, try and think about drawing the right foot back and pressing the left knee forward so there's a little bit of scissoring action. Inhale there. As we exhale, we'll bring the hands down and we'll step back into downward facing dog, and then move in any way that you need to when you get there as well. Okay, on the next inhale, we'll take the left leg up, and then as we exhale, step it forward, help it if you need to. Dropping the right knee and then transferring the weight straight back to find that half Hanumanasana. Left knee can stay bent if it needs to, but inhale to lengthen the chest forward, exhale to fold any amount. Inhale to lengthen, exhaling to fold. And again, inhale to lengthen, exhaling to fold. Okay, inhale, the left foot comes back down, untuck the toes, right foot, and then bring the arms up for low lunge. Exhale, hips sink forward and down, outer left hip shakes back, right hip forward, lower ribs softening, shoulder blades down the back. Maybe you gaze up, maybe not, wobble wobble. Depends how wobbly you feel tonight. Inhale there, and then as we exhale, hands come down, step back, downward facing dog, and then move in any way that you want to in your downward facing dog. Okay, from here, inhale to look forward, step, hop, float, walk, tiptoe. Just bring yourself to the front of your mat, however. And then once you're there, feet about hip width, come into Uttanasana, forward bend. So the knees can be as soft as they need to be here. So especially if we have a bad back, keep the knees nice and bent. You can rest your ribs and your abdomen on your thighs, and then just relax the head and neck. And we'll take hold of the elbows, come into a ragdoll. So you can just gently move a little bit from side to side. You might gently nod the head, yes, shake it, no. Just get rid of any tension that you have around the base of the neck. Okay, from here we'll release the hands down. Take the right hand around the left ankle or calf, and then start to bend into the right knee. We'll open the left arm up just as much as we can towards the ceiling. So if it's not coming all the way up at the moment, don't worry about it. Think about drawing the left shoulder back. The right knee can bend as deeply as it needs to. Think about reaching up through the left fingertips. Inhale there, and then as we exhale, unwind. This time we'll take the left hand around the back of the right ankle or shin, and then the left knee bends and we reach up with the right arm. So again, just as much as is comfortable there. That left knee can bend as deeply as it needs to. Can you draw the right shoulder back? Can you reach up through the right fingertips? Inhale, and then exhale to unwind back into Uttanasana. Okay, from here to come up, you can either tuck the chin and roll up or lift the chin, press down through the feet. Keep the knees soft until you've come all the way up, and then we'll keep the arms coming out around and up, gaze up, and then exhale. Okay, I'm just going to do sun salutation A 2 times with some additions into it. So inhale, take the arms out, around and up, and gaze up. And then as we exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Knees bend if they need to. Take the hands down, relax the head and neck. Inhale for a halfway lift. So come up onto your fingertips or bring the hands to the shins, gaze forward. Exhale, bend the knees, stepping or jumping back to your plank pose. So you can drop the knees to come down or come down through chaturanga. It's your choice. But we're coming all the way down to the mat. So come all the way down. Once you're down, untuck the toes, and then inhale, press into the palms, draw the right shoulder back, gaze over it, come into a little twisted cobra, and then exhale to come back down. Okay, inhale, press into the palms, the left shoulder draws back, gently gaze over it, and then exhale to come back down. Okay, inhale, come straight through the center, standard cobra, elbows in, shoulders roll back, and then as you exhale, find your way back into your downward facing dog. We'll take 5 breaths. 1, so try to maintain that breath in and out through the nose. 2, make sure both hands are doing the same thing in your downward facing dog. 3, can you draw the shoulder blades up towards your back pockets? 4, and 5, inhaling to look forward, stepping, hopping, walking, tiptoeing forward. Lengthen the chest forward when you get there, and then exhale to forward bend. Inhaling to come up, either roll up or lift the chin, press down through the feet, arms keep coming, gaze up, and then exhale to release. Okay, same again. Inhale, big circle. As we exhale, hinge forward. Inhaling for a halfway lift. exhale to step or jump back. So if you want to go straight to downward facing dog here, you could. Otherwise, you come down through the knees or chaturanga, but come all the way down to the mat. Once you're there, untuck the toes. Inhale, press into the palms, cobra, draw the right shoulder back, gently gaze over it, and then exhale, come back down. And then same the other side, inhale, baby cobra. Except the left shoulder draws back, gently goes over it, gaze over it, exhale, come back down. And then inhale straight through the center, standard cobra, elbows in, shoulders roll back. And then as we exhale, find our way back into downward facing dog. And straight away in downward facing dog, just connecting back to your breath. 5 breaths, 1. So in and out through the nose if you can. 2, think about being really heavy into your outer heels. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, instead of stepping forward this time, we're going to take the weight into the left hand. Pick up the right hand and see if you can reach back and take either your left calf or behind your left ankle, and then gently pull to help you turn and look under your left arm. Try to maintain that nice evenness with the breath. Try to press the left hand into the mat so that you're lifting up away from the mat. Take an inhale and then exhale to release, unwind, come back to downward facing dog. Take the weight into the right hand, pick the left hand up, reach back, either the back of the right calf or the back of the right ankle, and then gently pull to help you turn and gaze under your right arm. Can you keep thinking about the front of the legs moving to the back of the legs? Press that right hand into the mat so you're not sinking into the wrist, you're lifting up out of it. Inhale and then exhale to release. Back to standard downward facing dog. Okay, from our downward facing dog, we'll inhale and roll it forward to a plank pose. So just come forward to plank, shoulders over the wrists. Knees can come down straight away if they need to. Otherwise, inhale. And then as you exhale, come all the way down either through the knees or chaturanga, but come all the way down to your front. Once you've come all the way down and tucking the toes, inhale, pressing into the palms for cobra. Draw the right shoulder back, gently gaze over it. And then exhale, come back down. And then inhale, come up, left shoulder draws back, gently gaze over it. Exhale, come back down. And then inhale straight through the center. Standard cobra, shoulders roll back, elbows glue in. And then as you exhale, find your way back into downward facing dog. And if you still need to move when you get there, then move. So any little swaying into the hips or pedaling into the legs, just doing whatever feels nice in your body. Okay, from here, inhale, take the right leg up, and then as we exhale, step it forward. So we're coming into a runner's lunge. Stay on the ball of the foot, back foot. Caution for those of us with bad backs here, actually you might actually want to stay with this position, but if you can from here, staying on the ball of the back foot, straighten into the right leg, walk the hands a little bit further back, and then fold over that right leg any amount. Inhale to lengthen the chest forward, exhale to fold any amount, and again inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold, and again inhale to lengthen, exhaling to fold. Okay, on the next inhale, bring the right foot back down, adjust the fingertips. Make sure you're not on a tightrope because we're going to inhale and wobble our way all the way up for crescent lunge and then sink deeper into that front knee. Outer right hip draws back, left hip presses forward. So soften the back knee, tilt the pelvis forward and then any amount stretch back through that left heel. So the back knee can stay really bent here. It stops us kind of just hanging into the low back. Can you soften the low ribs in as well? Draw the shoulder blades down the back and then actively the fingertips reach up to the ceiling. Maybe you'll turn your gaze up there as well if you're not too wobbly. Wobble, wobble. Come a bit deeper into your crescent lunge. And again, a little bit deeper. And again, a little bit deeper. Try to start to get the hamstring engaged here as well. So the top of the right thigh bone draws back into the hip socket. Keep energizing back through that left heel. Extra weight in the front foot helps you to do that as well, but not collapsing into the ribs. So if the ribs have started to flare forward, then you're going to softly bring them in. Shoulder blades any amount more down the back as you come deeper. And again, a little bit deeper. Okay, from here we'll find our way to warrior two to the left. So inhale, exhale, turning the left foot out and rooting it down, and then coming straight into warrior two. Check the line up with your feet, you're lining up heel to arch. Front knee is opening out. Notice as well if you have that tendency to lean forward in warrior two, try and be as upright with the torso as you can. Think about the inner left thigh lifting up and you're grounding into the outer left heel. Shoulders are drawing down away from the ears, but then the shoulder blades press into the upper back and you widen across your collarbones. Any amount, can you think about that inner left thigh spinning forward so that you widen across your groin a little bit more. And then imagine that you're drawing the right heel back towards the left instep. So again, you start to get that hamstring engagement on the back of the right thigh as well. Keep smiling. Legs are starting to talk to us. Come a bit deeper if you can. Keep breathing. Okay, we're going to take the left hand, maybe you'll take it to your low back, maybe you can tuck it around, take the top of the right thigh, and then turn the right palm up, inhale, reach forward, find length, and then as you exhale, up and back to reverse your warrior. Make it a side bend. Keep turning your chest and torso to the left, keep opening the front knee out, keep lifting the inner left thigh up as well. Can you reach through the right fingertips and find more length from the outer right hip all the way to the right fingertips? Nice, well done. Keep breathing. Okay, inhaling to come back to our warrior two, and then exhaling to sink a bit deeper into it. Inhale there, and then as we exhale, we're going to pivot to the ball of the back foot, and then left hand comes down, right arm reaches up for a twist. So remember to press the left hand into the mat, you're not sinking into it. Lift up out of the left wrist, left shoulder, and then the right fingertips lift up to the ceiling as much as you can. The back of the left thigh lifts as well. Okay, inhale there, and then as we exhale, unwind, hands come down, step back. You can go straight to downward facing dog, or you can come through vinyasa, so it's up to you. Inhaling from back bend up, dog or cobra, and then exhale back. Downward facing dog, will take 3 breaths. 1, observe the sensation that you have in your body now. 2, likely that you're feeling things quite a lot more on the right hand side. And 3, okay, inhale, take the left leg up, and then exhale, step it forward, help it if you need to. So you might want to stay in the runner's lunge here, or if you feel okay with this, you're staying on the ball of the back foot, but with walking the hands back and we're straightening the front leg any amount and folding over it. Inhale to lengthen the chest forward, exhale, fold, any amount. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold, inhale to lengthen, and then exhale to fold. Inhale, the left foot comes down. Make sure you're not on a tight rope and then wobble your way all the way up for present, and then sink deeper into the front knee, outer left hip back, right hip forward. Soften the back knee to help you tilt the pelvis forward, heavy in the tailbone, and then energize back through that right heel as much as you can. Keep shaving the outer left hip back, right hip presses forward. Try and get that hamstring engagement as well. Top of the left thigh bone draws back into the hip socket, shoulder blades down the back. Maybe you turn your gaze up here if you can. Maybe not. Wobble, wobble. Just let the wobbles happen. Try and stay as relaxed as you can. That will definitely help you with your stability. And we know that I like to hang out in these when we're warming up. Okay, we'll find warrior two to the right. So inhale, exhale, right foot turns out, and then bending into the front knee, check your line up, heel to arch, shoulders down away from the ears, shoulder blades press in, gazing over your left middle finger. Inner right thigh lifts. Try to root into that outer right heel as well. And then same thing here, but can you turn the inner right thigh a little bit forward any amount, but without letting that left knee start to collapse in as well it wants to. Notice if you have that tendency to reach forward in warrior two and bring your torso upright. See if you can maintain that nice evenness with the breath. Focusing on the breath, if the sensations start to get really intense, just try and focus on the breath. Okay, we're going to bring the right hand behind us. It can come to the low back. You might tuck it around the top of the left thigh and then flip the left palm up. Inhale, reach forward and find length. And then as you exhale, up and back for your reverse warrior. Don't let that front knee collapse in. Keep lifting the inner right thigh, turning the chest and torso to the right as much as you can, as much length as you can. Outer left hip to the left fingertips as well. Keep breathing and smiling. Okay, inhaling to come back to our warrior two, and then exhaling to sink deeper into it. Big inhale there. As we exhale, we're going to pivot to the ball of the foot, back foot. Right hand comes down and then find the twist. So left arm reaches up. Press that right hand into the mat so you're not sinking into the shoulder or the wrist. Back of the right thigh lifts, fingertips up to the ceiling. Inhaling there. As we exhale and unwind, we'll step back. You can go straight to a downward facing dog, or you can add in a vinyasa. So use the knees if you need to. Remember, don't come too low in chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back. Downward facing dog, take 5 breaths. 1, and just observe how your body feels now. 2, shoulder blades up your back. 3, can you really feel the sensation in your body? 4, and 5. And then we're going to come into that twisted 3-point dog again. So take the weight into the left hand, right hand lifts, and then you reach back, either take the back of the left calf, the left ankle, gently pulling on it so to help you to turn and gaze under the left arm. Keep pressing that left hand into the mat so you're lifting up out of the wrist and the shoulder. Inhale and then exhale to unwind. Back to your standard downward facing dog. Of course, skip this if you don't like it, as always. Take the weight into the right hand, left hand lifts, reach back, outer right ankle or calf, and then gently drawing your chest to gaze under your right arm. Keep drawing the right shoulder down as well. Keep pressing that right hand into the mat. Inhale, and then as we exhale, unwind back into our downward facing dog. On the next inhale, take the right leg up. And then as you exhale, step it forward. So runner's lunge, adjust if you need to when you get there. Stay with this, or we're going to come into that forward bend again. So stay on the ball of the foot, back foot, straighten the front leg any amount, fold over it. And then inhale to lengthen the chest forward, exhale to fold. And again, inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. And again, inhale to lengthen. And then exhaling to fold. Okay, inhaling to bring the right foot down, adjust if you need to, and then when you're ready, we'll wobble our way up for crescent, and then sink deeper into crescent, outer right hip back, left hip forward. I'm not going to stay quite as long this time, so try to get the tailbone heavy, think about energizing back through the left heel, and see if you can get the hamstring engagement as well. On the right thigh, shoulders down, ribs in, heavy in the tailbone. Maybe you'll gaze up if you're not too wobbly. If you are, then you can keep your gaze forward, up to you. Okay, we'll find warrior 2 to the left. So inhale, as we exhale, turning to the left, left foot turns out, root it down. Adjust the feet if you need to, get that heel to arch, line up, and then shoulders down away from the ears, shoulder blades press in. Inner left thigh lifts, root into that outer left heel, front knee opens out, come deeper if you can. Check that you're not leaning forward as well, so nice and upright with the torso. Okay, left hand's coming either to the low back, or maybe you can tuck it around the top of the right thigh. Flip the right palm up, inhale, reach forward, find length. And then as you exhale, up and back for your reverse warrior. Keep opening the front knee out, inner left thigh still lifting. Turn your chest, get length from the outer right hip to the right fingertips. Try to maintain that nice evenness with the breath as well. Okay, inhaling to come back to warrior 2, and then exhaling to sink deeper. Inhale there, and then as we exhale, we pivot to the ball of the foot, back foot, left hand comes down, find the twist. Okay, I'm going to add on to it this time, so see how we get on with this, but from this position, inhale, as we exhale, bring the right hand down. You might want to hop the back foot in, and then see if you can take all the weight into the right foot and come to standing. Wobble, wobble, bringing the left knee into the chest, and you might want to hold around the knee or the shin just to while you settle into that. Outer left hip drops down. Okay, you can take the right hand to the outside of the left knee and then start to reach the left arm back for a little bit of a twist there. Those of us that like more of a challenge, you can even take the outer edge of your left foot and you can see if you can straighten into that left leg. Do that variation if you want to. Wobble, wobble, completely up to you. Maybe you'll turn and gaze over your left hand as well. Okay, inhaling to come back forward, and then we're going to take the left leg in front of us as high as we can. So it's up to you, doesn't need to be really high, straighten it as much as you can as well. And then inhale, as we exhale, start to maneuver the left leg back, come into a forward bend. Can you come onto your fingertips and reach the left leg straight up? So it's like a standing split. Reach up through the left big toe as much as you can. Can you lift up out of that right hip? If you need to keep the right knee bent or you need to use blocks here, then do that. Do whatever you need to. Think about that left big toe reaching up to the ceiling. Try and relax the head and neck. Okay, on the inhale, we'll lift and lengthen the chest forward, and then as we exhale, start to soften into the right knee. Reach back with the left foot, come back to our runner's lunge, and then from there, hands come down, step back. You can go straight to downward facing dog, or you can come through your vinyasa, through the knees or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back, downward facing dog, take 3 breaths. 1, so calm your breath straight away. 2, you can always drop the knees and take a break if you need to. and 3. Okay, inhale, take the left leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Okay, staying with this if you don't want to do the forward bend, but we stay on the ball of the back foot and then transfer the weight back, straightening that left leg as much as we can, and then inhale to lengthen the chest forward. Exhale to fold, any amount. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold, and again inhale to lengthen, and then exhale to fold. Inhale, the left foot comes down, adjust the position of your feet if you need to, and then wobble your way up for crescent, and then sink deeper into it. Outer left hip back, right hip forward, soften the back knee, always thinking about the pelvis being as neutral as you can, and then you energize back through that right heel, because there's that tendency, isn't there, to just collapse here. Try not to do that. The lower ribs are softly drawing in. Can you get the hamstring engagement as well, back of the left thigh, shoulder blades down the back, fingertips up to the ceiling. Okay, inhale, exhaling from warrior 2 to the right, so the right foot turns out, adjust your feet, line up heel to arch, shoulders down, shoulder blades in, gaze over your left middle finger. Try and get that hamstring engagement, inner right thigh lifts. Can you move the inner right thigh slightly forward as well, and you widen across your groin a little bit more, come deeper. Okay, right hand to the low back, maybe you'll tuck it around the top of the left thigh, flip the left palm up and then inhale, reach forward, find length, and then as you exhale, up and back to reverse your warrior. Don't let the front knee drop in, it wants to. Keep lifting the inner right thigh as well. Try to maintain that nice evenness with the breath. Okay, inhaling to come back to warrior 2, and then exhale, sink deeper. Inhale there. As you exhale, pivot to the ball of the foot, back foot, right hand comes down, and you find your twist. Keep lifting the back of the right thigh. Press the right hand into the mat, lift up out of it, fingertips to the ceiling. Inhale, and then as you exhale, hands come down. Okay, you might want to hop the back foot in, and then see if you can take all the weight into your left leg and come straight into that balance. Knee comes into the chest. You might want to hold around the knee or the shin. Left hand to the outside of the right knee, and then the right arm reaches back. You can go for the straight leg version if you want to, taking hold of the outside of the foot if you want to. Okay, well done. Inhaling to come back forward, we'll take the arms up, straighten that right leg out in front of you as much as you can, point through the toes. Inhale, and then as you exhale, we start to maneuver that right leg back and come into a forward bend. Down onto the fingertips, right leg reaches up, standing split. Lift up through that right big toe. Lift up out of that left hip. Okay, so there's a tendency here to kind of be hanging into that left hip joint. Don't lift up out of it. Reach up through the right big toe as much as you can. Okay, inhale to lift the chest and lengthen it forward, and then we'll soften into the front knee, reach back with the right foot, find our runner's lunge again, and then hands come down, step back. You can go straight to downward facing dog as always, or you come through vinyasa to get there. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, and then exhale back. Downward facing dog, take 5 breaths. 1, so calm your breath. 2, pay attention to how your body feels. 3, feel free to drop the knees and rest in child's pose if you need to. 4 and 5. Okay, inhale, take the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Runner's lunge. Stay with that if you want to, or come into that forward bend. Straighten the right leg as much as you can. Inhale to lengthen the chest forward. Exhale to fold. And again, inhale to lengthen. Exhaling to fold, and again inhale to lengthen, exhaling to fold. Okay, inhale, the right foot comes down, check the details, and then wobble your way up for crescent, and then sink into your crescent. Shave the outer right hip back, soften the back knee as much as you need to be heavy in the tailbone, remember. Energize back through the left heel, low ribs softening, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, exhale, warrior 2 to the left, so adjust your feet if you need to, do whatever, take your time to get there. Find your alignment, keep lifting the inner left thigh, front knee opens out, collarbones widen, shoulder blades press in. Release the left hand, hook it around the top of your right thigh if you can, flip the right palm up, inhale, reach forward, find length, and then up and back to reverse your warrior. Lift up out of that right hip. Keep lifting that inner left thigh up as well. And breathing and smiling. Okay, inhaling to come back to warrior 2, and then exhaling to sink deeper into it. Inhale. As we exhale, so I'm going to give you the choice here. You can stay with the twist that we've been doing, so you can pivot to the ball of the foot, back foot, and bring the left hand down and do that. Otherwise, we're going to hop the back foot in, take the left hand a little bit further forward, and then raise the left leg and reach the right arm up for a revolved half moon. So your choice, your version. Lift up out of that right hip if you're in your revolved half moon. Can you press the front of the right thigh back? Can you reach the right fingertips up to the ceiling? Nice. Try and energize that lifted leg as well, which I'm not doing. Okay, so from here, we're going to come straight to that balance. So whichever version you've come into, we're going to come straight back up to that balance, keep the weight into the right foot, and then the knee comes into the chest. That right hand to the outside of the left knee and left arm reaches back. Well done. Widen across your collarbones. If you want to do the straight leg version, of course you can. Try and stay strong in the standing leg. And then inhaling to turn yourself back forward, arms up. Stretch the left leg in front of you, inhale, and then exhale, standing splits. Down onto your fingertips, left leg reaches up, fold over the right leg. Lift up through the left big toe. Relax your head and neck in your standing splits. Lift up out of that right hip, remember. Okay, inhale to lift and lengthen the chest forward, and then as we exhale, we soften into the front knee and reach back with the left foot to find our runner's lunge. From here, you can go straight to downward facing dog, or you can come through vinyasa, up to you. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back. And downward facing dog, take 3 breaths. 1, so let your breath settle. 2. And 3, okay, inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Okay, stay here if you want to. That is intense enough for some of us. Stay there. Or staying on the ball of the foot, back foot. Straighten the left leg as much as you can, and then inhale to lengthen the chest forward. Exhale to fold. And again, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. And again, inhale to lengthen. Exhaling to fold. Okay, inhale, the left foot comes back down. Check you're not on a tightrope, and then wobble your way up for present. Wobble, wobble, sink into it. Outer left hip back. Back knee can be as bent as it needs to, remember. Tailbone is heavy. Come a bit deeper. Try and get all of that engagement as well. If you can, shoulder blades down, back ribs in, all of that stuff. Okay, inhale, exhale, warrior 2 to the right. So adjust your feet, check your line up, front knees opening out, inner right thigh lifts, shoulders down, shoulder blades in, collarbones widen, and then release the right hand to the low back or tuck it around the top of the left thigh, flip the left palm up, inhale, reach forward and find length, and then exhale, up and back to reverse your warrior. Resist the temptation to make it a back bend. Make sure that front knee doesn't start to collapse in as well. Keep lifting that inner right thigh as much as you can. Okay, inhaling to come back to warrior 2, and then exhaling to sink deeper into it. Inhale, as we exhale, you can come to your twist if you want to, so you can stick to what we did with the twist, right hand down, left arm up, or you hop the back foot in, adjust the position of the right hand, take the weight into the left leg, raise the right leg, and then left arm reaches up, revolved half moon. Not the easiest balance in the world, so do your best, as always. Try not to sink into that left hip, lift up out of it. Energize that right leg as much as you can. Okay, we're going to wobble our way up to the balance. So taking all of the weight into the left foot and then bringing the right knee into the chest. Well done. You can hold around the knee or the shin. Left hand comes to the outside of the right knee. Right arm reaches back for that twist. You can take the outer edge of the foot if you want more of a challenge. You can do the straight leg version of that. Try to keep the lifting up out of the left hip though, so you're not sinking. Don't buckle the standing leg either. Okay, inhale, arms forward, right leg reaches out, and then as we exhale, we'll come into standing splits. Wobble, wobble, right leg reaches up, fold over the left leg, let go of the weight of your head and neck. Okay, inhale to lengthen the chest forward, and then as we exhale, we soften into the front knee, reach back with the right foot, runner's lunge, hands come down, step back, straight to downward facing dog, or through a vinyasa to get there, your choice. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, and then exhale back, downward facing dog, take 5 breaths. 1, and let your breath settle. 2, remember tricep muscles spin back in downward facing dog. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we'll come into that twist hand, lift the right, and then reach back, take the calf or the ankle, wherever you can, gently pulling with the right hand to turn your chest and gaze under the left arm. Keep pressing that left hand into the mat so you're lifting up out of it. Inhale and then exhale to unwind. Take the weight into the right hand. Left hand lifts, reach back, take wherever you can, ankle or shin if you can, and then gently pull with the left hand to turn your chest and gaze under the right arm. Keep pressing that right hand into the mat so you're not sinking into the wrist or the shoulder. Inhale, and then as you exhale, unwind. Come back to your downward facing dog. Soften around the base of the neck. Draw the shoulder blades up the back. Let your breath settle. Okay, from our downward facing dog, we'll inhale and roll it forward to plank pose. So bring the weight forward, shoulders over the wrists. You might need to adjust the position of your feet. Knees can come down straight away if they need to. Remember in plank that you're not sinking into the shoulders here either. You're pressing the hands into the mat. Ribs are drawing in. Inhale, and then as you exhale, come all the way down. So use the knees or come through chaturanga, your choice. Elbows glue in, whatever you do. Come all the way down and then untuck the toes. Inhale, press into the palms. Right shoulder draws back, gaze over the right shoulder, twisted cobra, exhale, come back down. And then inhale, press into the palms, left shoulder draws back, gaze over the left shoulder, exhale, come back down. And then inhale, come up straight down the center, elbows in, shoulders roll back. And then as we exhale, find our way back into downward facing dog and take 5 breaths when you get there. 1, so just let your breath completely settle. 2, think about pushing the mat away with the hands. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, inhaling to look forward, stepping, hopping, floating, walking forward. Lengthen the chest forward when you get there, and then exhale to forward bend. Inhaling to come up, so either roll up or lift the chin, press down through the feet. Arms keep coming, reach up and gaze up. And then exhale, hands down through heart center. Hope we're all still good. On the next inhale, we'll find a chair pose. So make sure when you come into your chair that both knees do the same thing and that you can see your toes. And if you can't, then you come back up and come back down with the weight more in the heels. Knees point over about the 2nd or 3rd toes, and then you start to imagine that you're trying to get the sit bones towards the backs of the knees so you feel the hamstrings begin to engage. Can you lift the upper arms a little bit more? Can you come deeper? Can you bring the lower ribs softly in? And then come a little bit deeper maybe, but try and keep that hamstring engagement, whatever it is you're doing, and come deeper. Okay, inhale, and then exhale for a forward bend. Okay, keeping the knees as bent as they need to be. And we're just going to heel toe the feet a little bit wider. And then some of you are going to curse me for this, I know. Turn the feet out. And then slowly start to let the hips come down. Now, if you really struggle with this, remember, we're coming to yogi squat. If you really struggle with this, you can use a block and you can sit on a block. It's not an easy pose, especially if you're not used to it. So you can use a block and sit on a block. You don't have to come all the way down. If you do come all the way down and the heels lift, then you can fold your mat or you can use a block and support the heels. If it's really not happening at all, you'll come maybe into a chair pose and stay there and then really curse me. If you can bring the elbows on the inside of the knees, then palms together and lift the chest. Okay, Malasana, yogi squat. Imagine here now that you're trying to draw the heels towards each other, and then notice how that makes you feel a little bit lighter in the hips. So can you do that and then get lighter in the hips and then lift the chest? Those of us that find this easy, I want you to challenge yourself and come up maybe about another inch so that you're not just hanging into your hips there, which is easy for some of us, isn't it? So try to get that engagement, come up a little bit higher. Okay, and then for those of us that want more, maybe you reach the arms up there and then really lift the chest. Keep drawing the heels towards each other though, fingertips to the ceiling. And then on the next inhale, we're going to see if we can come all the way up, press into the feet, well done. And then release the arms down. And then you might just want to shake the legs out a little bit, well done. Okay, make sure the feet are about hip width now, outside edges of the feet parallel. And then inhale, come back into your chair pose. Make sure that both knees are doing the same thing. Upper arms lift, sit bones to the backs of the knees. And then from here, we're going to come to wobbly chair. So come to the balls of the feet. Okay, those of you that have done the wrist free will know what's coming. Do your best with this. Again, if your knees don't like it, Don't worry about it. If it's too much on the balls of the feet as well, maybe you're going to adjust that. But inhale, as you exhale, can you come down? Staying on the balls of the feet slowly. Come down into a crouch. Lift the chest when you're there. Exhale, and then inhale. Come all the way back up. Well done. Back to wobbly chair. Okay, we're going to do that again if you're still with me. Inhale, exhale, slowly come down. Keep the knees pointing forward. Don't let them drift or collapse in. Take a nice big inhale and then exhale everything out. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Okay, and then release the heels back down. Come back into your standard chair. Upper arms lift. Well done. Inhale, standard chair, and then exhale for a forward bend. Inhale for halfway lift. As you exhale, step or jump back. You can go straight to downward facing dog, or you can come for a vinyasa. So it's up to you. Inhale for a back bend, up dog or cobra, and then exhale back. Downward facing dog, take 5 breaths. 1, so outer upper arms spin back, remember. 2, shoulder blades up your back. 3, front of the leg moves to the back of the leg. 4, and 5. Okay, from here just come down to your knees, and then from there we'll take the shins to one side, maneuver our way to our bum, and then bring the legs straight out in front of you. Well done. Legs straight out in front, and then take the flesh away from the sit bones. So that, and then again, those of us with a bad back might find this position really hard. It is hard, actually. Even if you haven't got a bad back, you might find this hard. So you can modify this by having the knees bent and taking the feet a bit wider as well. Might feel a bit nicer in the beginning. So adjust it, do whatever. We don't want to feel discomfort in the spine. This is really good for strengthening our spine, actually. But I'm not going to stay here too long. Bring the hands down by the hips and then sit up nice and tall. Try to just bring your head back a little bit in space so that the head stacks over the tailbone, because we all have that habit, don't we, of leaning forward. So just try to get as straight as you can. Relax the shoulders. Shoulder blades gently begin to move in towards each other. Upper arms come back. Can you any amount press the backs of the thighs down there? So front of the leg moves to the back of the leg. And then we gently reach away through the heels. Try and maintain all of that if you can, and bring the arms up. Okay, so what tends to happen here when we do this is we tend to collapse with the torso. So make sure that doesn't happen. Keep lifting the chest, draw the shoulders down, and then you reach up through the fingertips. Come back to the backs of the legs, and then press them down a little bit more there as well if you can. Okay, inhale and then exhale to release. Well done. Bend up the right knee. We'll cross the right knee over to the outside of the left, and then as much as you can bring that right foot. Make sure you can see me. The light's gone a bit funny. I might have to adjust the lighting. Right foot as close to the left hip as you can, and we're aiming to stack the knees. But if it's not happening, you're not close to that, don't worry about it, don't force it. So just come as close as you can, and then relax that right knee down so that it's kind of stacking as close to being above the left knee as you can get it. And then we'll interlace the fingers, take them around the right knee, sit up as tall as you can, keep the shoulders relaxed, and then any amount, draw that right knee towards you. So those of us that do a lot of running and things like that might find this a really intense stretch. So try and stay as relaxed as you can. Try not to collapse the upper body. Keep the chest lifted. Draw that right knee as close in as you can. And see if you can just stay with that nice evenness with the breath as well. Okay, and then we'll release that. You can stay with this version if you want to, so you can keep this lower leg straight if you want to, or we're going to take the weight to the left and then bend the left knee and bring the foot back and come into the full version of that. So for some of us, this is easier in the full version. Others of us, it's not happening at all at the moment. So you stay with whichever version works for you. The knees are close to being as stacked as you can get them. And then come up onto the fingertips in front of you. Inhale to lift the chest. And then exhale, come forward to your degree. So that might not be very far. Try and stay heavy in the sit bones. And then you just ease your way forward as much as you comfortably can. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the elbows soft. Relax your abdomen. Release your jaw. And most of all, where you feel that stretch, relax. Okay, on the next inhale, just gently walking the hands back in, come back to upright. If you come into the full version, take the weight to the left, stretch the left foot away and cross, and then bend the left knee, start again. So the left foot comes to the outside of the right knee, or as close to the right hip as you can, and then that left knee relaxes down. To begin with, we'll do that IT band stretch. So interlace the fingers, hook around the left knee, stay up as tall as you can, and then draw that knee as close to you as you can. So this is another example of a stretch that really works, actually, because I used to really find this intense. But now I don't really feel that much. So you should feel this outer right thigh, maybe the outer hip as well. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And any amount, draw that knee closer. Okay, and then we'll release the knee down, stacking them as much as you can, stay with that, or take the weight to the right. Bend the right knee as well. If you get there, regret it, remember, just always come back. So it's basically exactly the same that you might have done at the beginning, but for some reason it's much more intense when we're upright, isn't it? Try and be as level in the sit bones as you can. Come onto the fingertips in front of you, and then inhale to lift the chest. And then exhale to ease your way forward to your degree, and that might not be very far, of course, so don't worry about it if it isn't. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Relax where you feel the stretch as well. Release your jaw. And just letting your breath settle. Okay, on the next inhale, we'll walk the fingers back in, come back to upright, taking the weight to the right to stretch the right leg if you've come into that version, and then uncross and bring the leg straight out in front of you again. Okay, we're going to come into Paschimottanasana now, which is a forward bend, and if you have back problems, at the moment, just be really careful. You might just want to stay upright. Don't worry about the forward bends. They can be really intense for your back. So even sitting here might be challenging enough. So if it is, you stay with this. Otherwise, we'll take the arms up, reach up through the fingertips, cinch the waist in. So you're really trying to find length in the upper torso. Cinch your waist in, lift your chest, inhale. And then as you exhale, come forward with your chest so that the abdomen comes towards the thighs. And then as soon as that feels intense, you stop. And then the hands can come anywhere down, the low legs or the ankles, maybe you take the feet. But wherever it is, not forcing anything, keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. And then inhale to lift and lengthen the chest forward any amount. And then exhale to fold. And again, inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. And again, inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhaling to fold. And then when you've found your version of this, then you can start to relax the shoulders, relax the head and neck. I know that I'm a stuck record for some of us, but we want to not be just curving our back to come forward. We're thinking about lengthening forward with the chest. We're thinking about closing the gap between the abdomen and the thighs. So if you just use your back to curve forward, you'll see there's a massive gap between your abdomen and your thighs. And we want to be folding from the hip so that we eliminate that gap. And if that's not happening at the moment, don't worry about it, basically. Be wherever works for you. And then inhaling to come up, exhaling to release. Okay, I'm going to come straight into a counter pose for that. So bring the hands about 30 centimeters behind you. Fingertips point back towards you and they're in a direct line behind your hips. And then we'll bend up the knees. Now, some of you, if you're feeling particularly strong tonight and you know this pose, you might want to do the straight leg version. So feel free to do that if you want to. If you're doing the straight leg version, then the legs are together and you're rolling the inner thighs towards each other. Otherwise, the bent knee version, we bring the heels in. Least hip width apart, bring them right in, and then inhale, press into the hands and feet, and then come up into that version. Now it's quite intense for the shoulders, isn't it? So just take it easy if you have tight shoulders. If it's okay with your neck, you can take your head back. Maybe you can lift the hips a little bit more. Try to keep the knees reaching forward. If you're doing the straight leg version of this, we're aiming to get the soles of the feet down and you're rolling the inner thighs towards each other, active. Keep lifting. Inhale, and then as we exhale, we'll slowly come down. Well done. It's harder than it looks, that one, isn't it? Okay. And then we'll come down onto our backs from here. So hold around the shins or behind the thighs, and then ease your way down onto your back. And then once you've come all the way down, just bring the knees in. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little bit of a back massage maybe again. So just be cautious and gentle with this if you know that you have back issues. And then from here, we'll release the feet down. And again, if you have back issues, you might not want to cross the legs. You might just want to stack the knees for your twist. Otherwise, we're going to cross the right leg over, just like we're sitting cross-legged in a chair. Take the arms out to the side in a T. Pick the hips up about an inch to the right. And then inhale, as you exhale, let both knees come over to the left. So if it's too much for your back, uncross and then just stack the knees. Try and stay heavy in the back of the right shoulder. And then maybe you turn your gaze over the right shoulder. And just try to let go of the weight of your legs completely. So depending on where your tight areas are, this can feel intense in the IT band as well, can't it? Outer glutes, outer thighs. If you have any unpleasant sensation in your low back, then you need to just ease off here. So uncross or ease your way out of it. You can always use a block here to support the knees so that you don't come as far as well with the twist. So just do whatever you need to. Okay, on the next inhale, we'll bring the legs back up. We'll uncross, re-centralize the hips and then cross the left leg over. Pick the hips up about an inch to the left and then inhale, exhale, knees make their way over to the right. So again, if it's too much for your back, uncross. Try and stay heavy in the back of the left shoulder. And then maybe you gaze over the left shoulder. And you might feel it in a completely different place this side as well. It always amazes me that, how different we are between sides. Adjust it if you need to. Use a block to support the knees if that helps. But wherever you are, just let go of the weight of the legs. Okay, on the next inhale, bring the legs back up, uncross, and then re-centralize the hips, and we'll come back to happy baby. So again, your version, hands behind the knees, knees to the underarms, or you bring the arms on the inside and you take the outer edges of the feet. And then you can move there. So remember, if your back and bum really lifts up in your happy baby, then come back a level so that you can keep your low back supported. And then we're just focusing on the knees coming to the underarms. Just keep the shoulders relaxed. You can move a little bit there, maybe. Notice how your happy baby feels now as compared to at the beginning of the practice. Do you feel it more in the hamstring or the hips? Okay, and then when you're ready, we will find our way to Savasana. So coming to lying flat, if you're comfortable to lie flat, or if it's better with the knees bent as we were at the beginning, then do that. So whatever feels nicer in your body. And then just start to relax. Draw your awareness back in. Soften your abdomen. Relax your facial muscles. And then just let go completely. Just for a few moments. And now just slowly beginning to bring your awareness back. And gently move fingers and toes. Taking a nice long inhale, have a stretch. So arms up overhead, maybe interlace fingers, have a full body stretch. You could bend up your knees, draw them into your chest, give yourself a hug, take a twist. So just any move or stretch that feels nice. And then when you're ready, making your way to your right hand side. And then finding your way back up to seated when you're ready. So any seated position, cross legs or not, whatever. And then we'll bring our hands together in front of the heart. And just take a moment to relax the shoulders. Soften your facial muscles. And observing the whole of your body as sensation. Taking a nice long inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Namaste. Thank you. Folks, well done. Happy Monday.
Thank you, Caroline. Great class.
And I'll be doing my last one at Thornton in the morning for the foreseeable, folks. This is it. This is it. Yeah, and I will change times and things. I think if people are working and we need our exercise, don't we? So I am working on that. I've just had a lot going on. So maybe some more evenings. I think suits people morning. So we'll sort it anyway.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thanks, Caroline. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.